students, welcome to Legacy as Academy. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about a recent crisis that we are seeing unfolding in the Southeast Asia, especially where a lot of events are taking place that seems to be inimical to the interest of India, more precisely the geopolitical interest, security interest of India. In this regard, what we are seeing is the development or formation of a triage that is made up of three countries: China, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. So in this context, what is the feasible options, what are the diplomatic options that India has, how to deal with each of these three countries on a bilateral basis, and also how to tackle this multilateral challenges. Let us try to understand this in more detail. Now, first of all, to give you a clear idea about this particular topic, that what has happened in the recent time. So recently we have seen a conclusion of a summit, what you can call as a trilateral summit between China, Pakistan and Bangladesh after a very long period of time. And this is nothing but the continuation of trend where we are seeing a continuous alignment of geopolitical interest between these three countries, where we have seen a kind of warmth in a relationship that has developed between Bangladesh and Pakistan after almost we can say after 1971 for the first time. And also we are seeing the relationship between China and Bangladesh also growing to a great extent. Now, the recent India-Pakistan standoff has only hardened this relationship, and we have seen a tacit support given by China to Pakistan when war was raging on. Now, if you try to also understand the reason behind realignment, why realignment has taken place here, so we can look at the development that happened in the month of August 2024. We have seen a removal of Sheikh Hasina from power as from the post of Prime Minister in Bangladesh. She was ousted by a violent rebellion, and she was replaced by Muhammad Yunus, who is a chief advisor of the current government of Bangladesh. Elections are expected to take place somewhere in the next year as such. Now, because of the change in leadership, and as Sheikh Hasina was considered as pro-India in her policies, we have seen a kind of rise of Islamist element and rise of those elements who believe in normalizing of ties or relationship between Bangladesh and Pakistan as such. So this is nothing but what you can call as a convergence of convenience and opportunism. Convenience because it is convenient for Bangladesh to look at some other regional partners rather than just depending on India, especially after the removal of pro-India government. And it is opportunity for Pakistan to again increase its presence on the eastern border of India and then use Bangladesh for its own benefits. It is in this regard we have to understand the development of Bangladesh-China, Bangladesh-Pakistan relationship. Also, it is for the first time we have seen a bilateral trade in the month of May 2025. For the first time, Bangladesh and Pakistan have begun to trade bilaterally. They have seen the exchange of goods and commodities between the border. And this entire development between the relationship of both countries can seem to go back when we have meeting between Muhammad Yunus and Shahbaz Sharif. That is when the ball was set rolling to improve the relationship, and that was followed again by military level exchanges between Bangladesh and Pakistan, where Pakistan ISI agents or ISI officers were sent to Bangladesh, and also again then Bangladeshi top level army rank officials went to meet Pakistan and meet the chief of army Asim Munir, who also have called himself or recently has begun to call himself as Field Marshal as such. So this entire development, whether it is in the economic sphere, whether it is in the military sphere, all seem to have taken place after Muhammad Yunus took charge of the country as such. Not only that, for the first time after a long period of 12 years, we have seen the participation of Bangladesh Navy in a multilateral exercise that is called as Aman and Aman Dialogue. In this particular naval exercises, you have the participation of many countries, including Turkey and Pakistan. These are the two lead countries, and then Bangladeshi Navy also have joined. Now, all these development refer to a single fact that relations between Bangladesh and Pakistan definitely have warmed up, and the trend is expected to continue, because we know that domestically, if you try to understand, Bangladeshi government has banned Awami League government. That means Sheikh Hasina's return to power, at least in a short period of time, seems almost impossible. And the other party that might come into power, that is Bangladeshi Nationalist Party. As you know that Bangladesh largely has two major parties. One was BNP, other was Awami League. So BNP has a high possibility of making government in the next elections, and that party is known for its anti-India stance as such. So situation is going to become, or what you can say, situation is not going to improve in a short period of time, at least as far as India-Bangladesh ties are concerned. Now, Bangladesh's new regime is in search of partners, as we have discussed before. So as far as the economic partnership is concerned, Mohammad Yunus has always looked toward China, and that is also one reason. And the reason behind this we can understand from the fact that he wants to undo everything that Sheikh Hasina and her Awami League has done for the Bangladesh. They want to erase the legacy of Sheikh Hasina and Awami League, and especially with that will be gone the legacy of prioritizing India in foreign relationship. It is also the legacy of Bangladeshi government, especially Sheikh Hasina, where they have not taken any decision that might harm India's security interests as such. And because of all this development, Pakistan has sensed an opportunity, and then it has begun to engage Bangladesh on multiple frontiers, whether it is strategic front, economic front, or cultural front. As far as the strategic front is concerned, obviously better relationship with Bangladesh will help Pakistan in offsetting India along the eastern border as well. Similarly, as far as the economic pact is concerned, we know that Pakistan is facing economic crisis, and so is the Bangladesh, because Pakistan, just when Operation Sindoor had concluded, after that it had to ask for help from the International Monetary Fund, and that is when the money was granted and Pakistani economy improved to some extent. And as far as the cultural sphere is concerned, obviously in the Bangladeshi domestic politics there has been a heavy dominance of 1971 war of liberation or war of independence, that Bangladesh was supported by India, both militarily, economically, as well as strategically, and they also want to challenge this legacy so that there can be a way forward, and the way forward should not include the significance of Awami League, because as far as the Bangladeshi politics is concerned, it is Sheikh Hasina's father Mujibur Rahman is considered as the founder of modern Bangladesh. He was considered as the leader of the 1971 war of independence, and that is why challenging this legacy becomes important for these parties if they want to remain in power in the future as well. Now, as far as the realignment between China and Bangladesh is concerned, that is obviously because of the increase in the we can say increase in rift between Delhi and Dhaka after coming of Mohammad Yunus as interim advisor, and that has pushed Bangladesh to incline toward China. And it's not only that government of India has done something like that, but it is Mohammad Yunus politics itself and the way how he has portrayed his view of India and China, how the kind of statement that he gave, the speeches that he gave, that also has led to increase or widening rift between Delhi and Dhaka. For example, if we take a certain look, we know that in the beginning of this year, Mohammad Yunus went to China and met with the Premier of China, Xi Jinping. And during this meeting, there were total 9 economic and technical agreements that were signed. Because as you know, China always is looking for an opportunity to fund some economic project, to participate in some infrastructure development project, and that is how they trap smaller countries in a debt trap. And also it helps them in building. For example, we can talk about the ports, which can be used for military purposes, which can be used for economic purposes. So it is nothing but the development in Bangladesh would nothing but a kind of extension of China's policy of encircling India from all sides. Now, also it is during this meeting, Bangladesh Mohammad Yunus has stated about the desire to redevelop Lal Monirhat. Lal Monirhat is an air force base, and it is very at a very small distance from the Siliguri corridor, which is a very critical point as far as India's or mainland India's connectivity to northeastern region is concerned. It is very narrow corridor, about 30-40 km wide, and any threat to the Siliguri corridor will lead to cut off of the entire northeastern region from mainland India, which can be of advantage to China if it relay its claim on Arunachal Pradesh in a forceful manner, as it did it in the year 1962 as such. So all this development plus the statement that came from Mohammad Yunus' side that entire northeastern India is a landlocked region, the only guardian of Bay of Bengal, this is no one but Bangladesh itself. So all these situations also have complicated, all the statements also have complicated the relation between Dhaka and Delhi, and that is also the reason why Bangladesh is now looking to ally and cooperate with China more. One other development we can see in this regard in the area of Teesta River Comprehensive Management and Restoration Project. Now we know that Teesta is a very important tributary of river Brahmaputra. After merging with river Teesta, Brahmaputra is known by river Jamuna in Bangladesh. Teesta River originates from Sikkim and then it enters into Bangladesh as such. Now, in this particular management and restoration project, earlier during the Sheikh Hasina's regime, it was India which was largely to be a partner in this particular project. But now, after coming of Mohammad Yunus, we have seen that India has been replaced by China, and they have invited China to participate in this particular project, and that will also is something that we can understand is is an evidence of Bangladesh's economic favor or tilt toward China as such. Now there is, as far as the India's concern is concerned, we can understand India's concern is understood. We can understand from the fact that China's entry anywhere near the borders of India, near the area, near the countries which are having border with India, will strategically very crucial, and also it will increase the vulnerability of the zones around the border regions, especially in the northeastern region. Given the fact that China has laid a claim over the entire Arunachal Pradesh, it always is eyeing toward this particular area, so that would also create further difficulties and problems as far as security is concerned. Second, improving ties between what you can consider as India and Pakistan seems almost impossible after the wake of Pahalgam terror attack and the decision taken by government of India to put Indus Water Treaty in abeyance. And in this regard, what we can further expect is that improving ties between Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, Pakistan, we already know are an all-weather ally, are a very crucial strategic partner. So a triad seems to be forming that is bordering on all sides of India. For example, in west you have Pakistan, in north and east you have China, and now further in the southeast you have Bangladesh as such. And that is where India is concerned like. Now the question comes that what approach India should take, whether it should take a carrot approach or whether it should take a stick approach. Now this is a traditional term, general term that we use, that in carrot approach we try to engage with partners in a diplomatic manner, we try to ensure that whatever help they need we provide them with, and also we ensure that we give them certain what you can call as benefits, and using that then we can ensure that relation between both countries grow. On the other hand, stick approach largely refers to a forceful measure, a measure that largely is considered as a punishing move against any such decision that Bangladesh take, which will again be inimical to the interest of India as such. Now, many experts argue that there are not many options for India other than diplomatically engage with Bangladesh, and this becomes extremely crucial because the current government, that is the interim government, is not going to rule Bangladesh for a long period of time. In the next year, when the elections take place, we'll have the formation of new government. So many experts argue that we have to look at the practical realities, the situations unfolding in Bangladesh, and it seems very clear that Sheikh Hasina is not going to win and go and become prime minister again in the near future. So the best possible way for India to come out of this dilemma, this problem, is to have a functional relationship with whatever parties form government in Bangladesh, and also with with regional counterparts we need to have a functional relationship. So a kind of stability may be maintained in the Southeast Asia or South Asia as such. As far as the punishing move is concerned, it seems to be harming interest of India also. For example, as a tit for tat move, India has then banned the transshipment facility that was provided to Bangladesh. India has banned the export of various goods, especially the cotton, textile products, ready-made garment products through its border, through the land borders and the land customs stations and all that. So because of this, what experts argue that if we continue with such approach, obviously it will create a further strong anti-India narrative in the Bangladesh, and the Bangladeshi population will keep on getting more and more distant. And to accommodate the interest of Bangladeshi population, the government of Bangladesh would also ensure that relation with other countries such as Pakistan and China grow on the expense of India's relationship. So basically it will create a kind of vacuum, and this vacuum will be capitalized by none other but China as such. So this is what we have to keep in mind when we talk about what is the approach we should take. Now from this entire discussion, if you have take some key takeaways, what we can understand by looking at this entire situation that has unfolded in last 8-10 months, that whenever you talk about a small state, no matter which area of the world, which region of the world you're talking about, small states may unite over rifts and grievances with big states in the region. And the example of Bangladesh's rift with India can be seen by its unity with both traditional, we can say, enemy Pakistan, as well as a key economic partner, that is China as such. So the coming of China in Bangladesh can be considered as nothing but becoming an extra regional balancer in the South Asia, especially in the Bangladesh-India borders. So this is what we have to understand, that how international relations work, how diplomacy and the interest of the countries work, etc. So that is all about this particular video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your aspirants, and subscribe to the channel for more such content. Thank you very much.